Hi, Jen from Phoenix and Lotus here with day 10 of the 2017 31 Days of Tarot video challenge. And today's prompt was very clear, very clear answer for me. What was your most impactful tarot moment of 2016? I just started reading professionally this year, so that was something new for me. I've been reading for myself and for friends for years and years and years, but reading for strangers was definitely new. And the moment that stood out to me most was reading at a psychic fair, and it was the first psychic fair that I'd done, and this absolutely beautiful young woman came in and sat down across from me. I'd never met her before. She asked me for a reading, and she was just really, really beautiful soul. She had this kind of breathy Marilyn Monroe voice, and she just looked really lush and vibrant and young and so full of possibility and potential. And we were doing this reading, and the Six of Cups reversed came up, and immediately in my gut, I just knew she'd lost a baby. And having that sort of visceral reaction to the card and realizing that I'm reading for this woman that I don't know, and obviously this is a sensitive topic, and this is something that bears a lot of weight, and it's obviously really important, but it's also very private. And our culture doesn't always talk about miscarriages, stillbirths, sudden infant death, loss of a child at whatever stage that happens. It's a really uncomfortable topic for a lot of people. So in that moment, I had to figure out, how do I bring this up with her? Because this is obviously what she wants to talk about. So I sort of couched it as, it looks like you've been thinking about starting or growing your family, and there have been some obstacles there. And that was, I felt like a sort of a safe way to put out there, I understand there's this painful thing. I'm not going to probe or force you to talk about this, but I'm acknowledging and giving you an opening to talk about this if you want to or need to. And she immediately said, I had miscarriage. And it was just, I think that moment made me realize how powerful a lot of the work that we do in helping people talk about the uncomfortable things, providing a safe space for them to do that. Because if she didn't ever want to talk to me again, she didn't have to ever talk to me again. But it was an opportunity for her to get some sort of outside perspective and talk about what she'd been going through. And that's really powerful for people, and it's very necessary and ugly and scary, but it made me feel like I was able to help her through that reading understand some of the other reactions that were going on around her to what she had been going through, and how other people were responding to that. And that was, I mean, you never want to give people bad news. You never want to say or have to say, wow, I can see that you're struggling with this, or something very painful just happened to you. That's hard. I, fortunately, sometimes am not as empathetic as a lot of other readers. And in that moment, I was very grateful not to have that empathetic, emotional response, but to be able to have sort of more objective take on the situation. But that was a very powerful moment for me as a reader, and one that I think will stick with me for a long time. That moment of, oh, I never even thought about that bad news part of it, or that raw pain that some people will be experiencing, when I decided that I wanted to read tarot professionally. So if you're considering becoming a professional tarot reader, hey, newsflash, you're going to have to talk to people about stuff they might not want to talk to. You're going to have to figure out how to present that in a way that can further the conversation as opposed to shutting them down. If you want to be a good reader, in my opinion, you don't want to shut people down. You want to help them and help them work through their stuff and think about how they can handle what they're going through. And that was definitely a moment that made me do that. So, yeah, powerful, a little scary. Looking back, I think that I handled myself really well, but it was intense, and it continues to be intense, even talking about it now. It was also a sort of a serious validation of my own intuition, but in a way that okay, you have these messages that come through, but you also have to trust yourself on how to present that message. So, trusting your intuition on two levels. Like, is what I'm hearing true? And how do I best share this information? So, that was definitely my most memorable or insightful or in-depth tarot moment of 2016.